places in the United States. From this vantage point, one can almost experience what Boulder must have looked like to the Arapaho in the 1700s. To us today, and to them back then, it looks like Boulder has been here forever. But if we could see back through time, over the last 300 million years, we'd see that the landscape has changed a lot. There have been monsoons and droughts. There have been mountains, lakes, and swamps. At times, Boulder has been under 2,000 feet of water, and at others, it's been over 10,000 feet high. Boulder's been home to dinosaurs, and now to us. All of these changes have left their traces in the rocks that are exposed by uplift and erosion. Let's look at the stories the rocks have to tell us about how Boulder came to be the beautiful place we enjoy today. 300 million years ago, there was a shallow ocean covering the eastern part of the area. At this time, the continents of North and South America were slowly crashing into each other. The result from this collision formed new mountains called the Ancestral Front Range. As these mountains grew higher, they pushed the ocean farther east out of the area. Rivers carried gravel, rocks, and boulders from the mountains into the sea. These sands and gravels eventually formed the Flatirons, which are the most recognizable landmark in Boulder. Millions of years later, the climate became drier until it turned into a desert. Vast quantities of sand blew in from the north, forming dunes. The sand at the bottom of these dunes was compressed and turned into sandstone. Today, this stone is quarried throughout the region and has been used by the university on many of its buildings. 220 million years ago, the area had been eroded flat and the climate was wet. Forests grew, providing food for early dinosaurs. Sediments carried by streams eventually hardened into the red rocks of the Lichens Formation. 165 million years ago, as the climate became arid again, the area turned into a desert with 100-foot-high sand dunes. Over time, these dunes turned into sandstone called the Entrada Formation. Once again, the rains came and the sand dunes disappeared. Streams, floodplains, and shallow lakes dominated the landscape, creating habitat for many types of dinosaurs. The streams and lakes deposited sediments that became the rocks that make up part of the Morrison Formation, which is famous for its dinosaur fossils. Most of the Morrison Formation today is covered by bushes and trees. However, when it's not covered, these rocks stand out because of their vivid stripes of pink, green, purple, and orange. You can see the Morrison Formation where Interstate 70 passes through the Dakota Hogback south of Golden. In this photo, it's on the right-hand side. By 120 million years ago, the early dinosaurs had mostly all died, and others took their place. Boulder had weather like Northern California, which is mild and wet. The first flowers appeared, and tall forests covered the area. Around 100 million years ago, an ocean slowly flooded the area. Its beaches were preserved as a sandstone layer called the Dakota Formation. This formation forms a prominent ridge along the entire Front Range. At the I-70 road cut, the Dakota Formation is seen on the eastern side of the tilted layers. That's on the left-hand side of this photo. The ocean kept rising for 10 million years until 2,000 feet of water covered the region. As sediment and the remains of creatures fell out of the water, a clay layer formed on the bottom of the ocean. Over time, this layer grew to be over 8,000 feet thick and turned into a rock called the Pierre Shale. About 70 million years ago, the ocean started to retreat. Soon, Boulder was above the water at the edge of a beach. The beaches left sandstone behind, which once covered all of the area, but now can only be found across eastern Boulder County. Around 66 million years ago, two important things happened. The dinosaurs all died out, and the current Rocky Mountains started to form. Locally, the uplift of the Rocky Mountains caused the western part of the area, the Front Range, to rise, while the eastern part slowly sank. 2 million years ago, the area started to resemble what it looks like today. Rivers cut across Boulder Valley, and the climate fluctuated greatly, even producing glaciers in the nearby mountains. Every part of our Earth has its own unique geologic history. Here, those processes have given us a place of intricate landforms and spectacular scenic beauty. Moving through the landscape of this region, we're provided a window to the past that reveals evidence of the primal forces that shaped it. Boulder Valley, like everywhere on our planet, continues to change. These changes have always been recorded in the rocks. As we begin to understand the stories they hold, we become aware of the mysterious and dynamic nature of our home, planet Earth.